pause for thought and join in the barking with Darren Rowe on The Mindful Dog.
So welcome to the show. It's the 25th of March 2020, and this week in New Zealand history has been unprecedented, to say the least. It's the first time since the war that the country has been in lockdown. So what does that actually mean to our animals? Well, basically what it means is our animals are in lockdown too, which is quite ironic because that's exactly what we do to our animals every day when we go to work. We lock them down, we put them in our kennel, or we put them in the house. It's kind of sweet irony, really, isn't it? But it is concerning because if we get ill, then our dogs are going to be the ones that suffer. So one of the important things I think that people need to make sure they do is have provisions in place to make sure their dogs get fed, their dogs get watered, and their dogs get looked after if they do get ill. Contact your next door neighbour and say, look, if I do get ill, can you come and walk my dogs? Make sure you have something written down that tells the person that comes in exactly who your vets are, exactly what to feed your animals. If they're on any medication, make sure that's clearly defined and instructions are there so they can follow it to the letter. Because the last thing you want is someone coming in and giving your dogs medication and then giving them the wrong dosage. That would not be good. But there's always a silver lining. We've now got 4 weeks of lockdown. It could be more. It may be even 6 or 8, some people are talking about. But within those 4 weeks or those 6 weeks, isn't that just the perfect time to train your dogs? We're always complaining that we never have enough time to do that. We're too busy lives, our kids are doing this, blah, 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 blah. And our dogs are always the ones that suffer. But now we've got 4 to 6 weeks where we can do nothing but be at home. So let's get out there and let's train our dogs. You see, you've got to remember our dogs aren't used to having us at home all the time. So we're going to be cramping their style for the next 4 weeks. And they're going to probably get very frustrated. I know that my dogs are certainly going to get frustrated with me. They sleep all day and I'm suddenly here now keeping them awake all day. So we've got to think about what changes we've made to our dogs' lives, or what changes we're going to be making to our dogs' lives over the next couple of weeks. Dogs are creatures of habit, and if you change it too much, then they can get very frustrated and their behaviour can change accordingly. And in most pet dogs, their behaviour won't change, shall we say, positively as far as we're concerned. They're going to be wanting to get our attention. They're going to be pestering us. Now, most of us are going to be working from home, so we're going to be sat on a computer. Now, I don't know if your dogs are like mine, but as soon as I sit down on a computer, they're in my face, they're barking at me, they're trying to lick my fingers. I hate it when they lick my fingers on the keyboard, but that's just one of those things that my dogs do. So what I'm trying to say is we need to make time for our dogs. Don't just stick them outside and close the door and just forget them for the next 4 weeks. Actually bring them into your family. If you've got a dog that's an outside dog, I never understood the concept of an outside dog in New Zealand, but if you've got one of those dogs because they weren't very well behaved indoors, so they got kicked out, then take that opportunity to train them how to behave inside the house. That way your whole family can enjoy your dog. And remember, this is going to be a very stressful time for us. We're going to be stuck in the house for 4 weeks with the family, not able to go outside or do very much at all. That's going to be really stressful for most families. And what's the best way to relieve stress? Stroke a dog. Tickle your dog. So it's really good if we can have our dogs inside. Other topical things that have been happening this week. The SPCA has now been deemed an essential service, which is wonderful if you're an animal. So they're still going to be doing their ambulances. So if you find an animal that's in danger or injured, then you can give them a ring and you can take it to their centres. Now, as far as I'm aware, they're going to be closing down their adoptions. They are looking for people to help foster their dogs during this period, but their adoption services will be closed. I know that a lot of rescue centres are quite concerned about the welfare of their animals over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So if you are able to foster a dog or a cat, then please contact your local rescue centre because I'm sure they'll be really happy for your help over this period. And remember, animals can help us de-stress, so it's a win-win situation for everybody. Quite recently, there was a report, a scientific report that was generated and published by a group of scientists in Helsinki who were studying the effects of stress on dogs. And what they said was that behavioural problems in dogs could be directly related to the stress level of a dog. Which is really interesting in its own right. But when you add that with another paper that came out I think last June, where they looked at the stress levels of people and the stress levels of dogs, and they found that they mirrored each other. Now, granted, that was all about agility dogs, where the stress levels were quite high. But if you think of those two together, when we get stressed, our dogs get stressed. When we get stressed, our cortisol levels and our adrenaline levels rise. And when we get stressed, our dogs' cortisol levels and adrenaline levels rise as well. So what does that mean? Why am I telling you this scientific mumbo jumbo? Well, we're going to be again stuck in our house with our dogs for the next 4 weeks, and that's going to cause stress. Now, our cortisol levels are going to rise. Okay, we are going to get stressed just by the very nature that we're going to be stuck inside. That means your dog's behaviour is likely to change. Okay, they are going to get stressed. They're going to pick up on your stress, and they're going to get stressed as well, which means their behaviour is probably going to it's probably going to change for the negative, and they might do things that you're not going to like. They might try and steal things. They might bark. They might get stressed out and do all sorts of chewing and biting. Okay, that's going to be because of a situation. It means you've got to get them out. You've got to go for a walk. Now, I know we're not going to be able to go for walks in the park anymore, but we can walk them around our garden. We can actually just take them out for a long run, get a toy and play with them to de-stress our dogs, okay? It will become a problem if we don't get those dogs out, if we don't play with them, if we don't de-stress them. They're going to start to have behavioural issues, and we're going to get really annoyed with them. So let's not do that. Let's understand that dogs get stressed, we get stressed, and let's make sure that we can together maybe de-stress ourselves completely and enjoy ourselves. The next 4 weeks are going to be a very interesting time for us all. I'm just about to be publishing some online dog training courses, and feel free to go to my website. So that's www.mindfulnessfordogs.com, and you can subscribe and buy those courses if you want to. But just remember, 4 weeks, amazing time for dog training. There's not a lot else we can do. Make the most of it, guys. Stay safe, and make sure you don't go out unless you really, really need to.
You've been listening to Darren Rowe on The Mindful Dog, giving our canine friends a voice throughout the world. To find out more about what we do, visit our website at www.mindfulnessfordogs.com.